Ticketmaster has been under the spotlight over the last few months after the disastrous botched sale of tickets for the upcoming Taylor Swift tour. As Ticketmaster is learning the very hard way right now, never stand between a Swiftie and their concert tickets. Doing so will cost you more than you can ever imagine. When tickets went on sale, it became nearly impossible to get any, and although some of this can be excused as simply too much of an high demand, sadly the problem here does go much deeper than this. The system on Ticketmaster is designed in such a way that prices will go up based on demand, and with that, we saw people having to put out tens and thousands of dollars simply to see their favorite artist perform. This is not the first time that Ticketmaster has come under fire for doing things like this, but sadly their dominance within the space makes it very difficult to do anything about it. Artists have been complaining about the system for years now, but this time around they pushed the wrong fan base. And as a result, the company found itself in front of Congress having to explain its actions. I watched some of the hearings and it was pretty much the circus you would expect it to be. It is a bunch of elderly congresspeople who probably never heard a Taylor Swift song in their life, grilling the company with nonsensical questions while trying to make as many Taylor Swift lyrical references as they could. Now, to understand the Ticketmaster problem, we do need to go back to a system they introduced a while ago called dynamic pricing, although most people will probably just know this system as price gouging. Ticketmaster is allowed to get away with this practice because they completely dominate the space, and this is something that has actually become quite popular across other industries as well. We see it with car services and some airline companies all the time. Across the food industry, we see it as well. You have 5 large corporations controlling all of your food choices, and due to this, they are able to control the prices as they please. One company starts off by increasing the prices and then you see everyone else follow. That is one of the reasons why food gets so expensive year after year. Many people just call this inflation without understanding that inflation is not just some magical thing that happens out of nowhere. Ticketmaster gradually uses their dominance to do a similar thing, but just to a much higher degree because they can get away with it in a manner that companies selling essential goods cannot. They have the power to pretty much do whatever they want to do and also just completely crush any venue or artist who does not want to work with them. They are able to do this because they are a massive player in the game. They also control large portions of the resale process, and thus their dominance is truly terrifying. Now, the reason why we are finding ourselves back here debating this whole situation once again is because of the government that is now grilling Ticketmaster and the fact that they are also the same government that allowed all of this to happen. When they allowed the merger with Live Nation to happen, it destroyed any hope of at least some sort of proper competition taking place. The deal was set up in such a way where no proper commitments about bad price hikes had to be agreed to. Although some agreements were put in place, it was done on the promise of a handshake, and although Live Nation has broken those agreements a million times before, no action has ever been taken against them. We are supposed to have antitrust laws, but even this does not stop these large monopolies from forming. You make a few campaign contributions and just like that, you are allowed to get away with pretty much everything. So Ticketmaster obviously controls the sales of tickets. Live Nation controls venues and artists. You merge these two and what you have is complete control over the industry. One of the most controversial business practices that Ticketmaster engages in is reselling. It was revealed not too long ago that they actually incentivize reselling, and it just so happens that they also own the reselling site. So, you will buy tickets and they make money. You then resell the ticket at a higher price and they make even more money. Ever wondered why they don't take any action against site bots? They make even more money if bots buy all the tickets and then use their reselling site to shoot up the prices even more. All of this brings us all the way back to Taylor Swift and angry Swifties being upset about the high prices. Angry white women are a terrifying force of nature, and you will be hunted down if you try and take their tickets away from them. It is unclear if anything will be done about Ticketmaster and the way that they do business. Sadly, logic will dictate that absolutely nothing is going to be done about it as always. With that said, Swifties can at least feel a little bit better about this whole situation because at least Ticketmaster is sorry that they screwed us over. They said in a statement that they know that they need to do better and they will. They also stated during the hearing that the reason why they needed to slow down the sale of tickets was because they were hit with 3 times the normal amount of bot traffic. Most were not having any of their excuses though, and Ticketmaster is now being sued by over 200 angry fans. The lawsuit that was filed claimed that the company was guilty of imposing intentionally high prices and also breaking many antitrust laws. Now, the truth is that they are guilty of all those things. We know that they engage in practices that rise ticket prices to a completely unnatural level and that they also break plenty of antitrust laws. Most in the industry are afraid to speak out because if they do, Live Nation will simply stop giving them business. They might be guilty guilty of everything the suit suggests, but nothing will come from this unless the government would be willing to step in and break them up, which we know will not happen. American politics is deeply divided and they cannot agree on anything. Last week some lawmakers had a mental breakdown over Xbox allowing their consoles to shut down in order to save power. Before that, they cried over electric stoves. Government officials cannot agree on anything, and they definitely will not agree on a monopoly losing power.